Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park for a Sunday edition of Today at the Races. I'm Dan Illman along with Keith Fustel. Keith, yesterday was a wild day at the racetrack. No favorites won. Chaos reigned.
Love it. Love it. Those are the days we really, really like around here. 8 double-digit winners. You had a double there, a BTR, Brittany Russell double. That paid close, what was it, like $190 for a deuce? You just never see that. And the favorites they just couldn't get it done, and the prices, they just kept rolling in.
Nice performances in our 2 stakes races for Maryland bred and her sired, Virginia bred and her sired. We saw When I Get to Heaven make it 2 victories in a row in the Ben's Cat Stakes. Nolan Ramsey doing a really nice job. Give all the credit to J.G. Torrealba. He said J.G.'s helped him make this horse.
J.G. just carried that guy all the way around the racetrack. He was put to a pretty fierce ride midway on the turn and just kept grinding and grinding. Leveled off to his best stride under the left-handed asking, leaving mid-stretch. Was able to collar the Trombetta runner late. Had to have it. My value got a little, trouble trip the last 16th of a mile. They were drifting a little bit. Forrest had to alter course. Not going to give up on Had to Have him just yet, but a good effort from When I Get to Heaven. Yeah, back to back.
After that tough beat with Determined Kingdom, Tromby comes right back with Life, Love, and Laughter. Who loves life at Laurel Park? Turning all the way back to the 6 furlong distance. It was a little bit of a risk, and it paid off.
I was really surprised to see her up as eager as she was just outside of Maserati. Kind of dogged that one into the turn. You saw Maserati sneak away briefly, clear upper stretch, but then Life, Love, and Laughter right back, and then denied outer foes and inner foes. Really good performance that last 1/8 of a mile. Ended up winning clear at the wire. It was, I thought that horse could run well. I didn't know if she'd run that well. That was a big effort.
And because of those prices, we have a huge day on tap here on Sunday. Take a look at our carryovers. Both value pick 5s will offer carryovers. 58,000 plus into the early pick 5, races 1 through 5. 32,000 plus into the late value pick 5, races 5 through 9, both with a low takeout rate of 12%. Not only do you get extra value with the carryovers, but extra value with the low takeout. Our jackpot super high 5 races, race number 6, I believe, $26,000, $1 minimum in the jackpot super high 5. So lots of action today, and it's a hot day here at Laurel Park, but we're getting a little bit of a nice breeze right now as we take a look at our weather conditions for the day. The main track is fast. The turf is firm. The temperature is 88 degrees, and we're expecting it to climb during the afternoon. The winds, though, at 9 miles per hour might keep things a little bit cool.
Yeah, we upgraded that turf course yesterday, later in the day, to firm. And again, I want to thank all our fans, everybody that took part yesterday playing our races. Listen, this game is based on wagering. Everything we do at the racetrack is based on our players, and we're doing everything we can to supply with you information, giving you great racing products. Our racing office putting together great cards.
Super.
This is another one. Dan is pumping the product as strong as you possibly can, and it showed yesterday. Increase over 100% in the handle. We did over $3.5 million. Talking about the pick 5s, but guess what? We've got pick 4s. Did they pay yesterday? Early pick 4 paid $5,000. Middle pick 4 $3,900. Late over $1,000.
Something for everybody here at Laurel Park, including a race for amateur riders to kick things off in the opener. Let's take a look at the field. We're going a mile on the turf. It's a maiden claimer for fillies and mares. 16 down to 12.5. Maryland breds eligible for the 20. Take out the 4, the 6, the 12, the 13, the 15, and the 16. The 11 and the 14 draw in off the also eligible list. We're going to start things off with your top selection, the number 8 Jams Paper Moon, as we get set for our 12% value pick 5, the early pick 5 wager with the big carryover today. Jams Paper Moon is your top pick, and if this horse runs back to her figures at Gulfstream Park on the turf, she's going to be super tough.
Yeah, let's take a look at my ticket, and I give a ticket that's a little bit higher than normal. 52. Oh, we didn't have the ticket. Did I not send in a ticket? Uh-oh. I'm going to roll through it real quick.
Go ahead.
How about that? That's my bad. I thought I sent it in. 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 14 with 1, 3, 4, 5, 7 with 6 with 2, 4, 7 with 6. If you guys can jot that down inside, that'd be great, and throw up a board. We will go through it right after this race. So it's 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 14 with 1, 3, 4, 5, 7 with 6 with 2, 4, 7 with 6. That's my bad. 52.50. And I will be playing along in both the early and late pick 5s. This race is like you know, we've got Timonium down the road a little bit. You know, I always enjoy Timonium. It's like the House of Mirrors. You go into that room and you have no idea where you're going. That's this race, the amateur riders race. But I do think Jam's Paper Moon, Dan, I'm banking on this one, getting back to the turf. You're looking at some of those fields at Fairgrounds, at Gulfstream Park. It was a triple key race back in December. Has shown the ability to run okay fresh. I'm going to give a pass to the last race when stumbling and caught very wide. I just think, look at this. These guys are good. I think this horse getting back to the turf, that's going to be the key. Those numbers kind of, not really tower, but they're good enough to get it done. Got a rider here, Jasmine McGee. Limited starts from what I've seen, but maybe on the right horse here with Jam's Paper Moon to make a run from just off of it because there is some flow.
And it's interesting, the Connection spent $13,000 to buy this horse earlier this year. The 2 starts, one on synth, one on dirt. Not inspiring, but this race is not on synth and it's not on dirt, it's on turf. And you're right, Jam's Paper Moon ran some really competitive races from a speed figure standpoint on the grass at Gulfstream. Brand New Dance is kind of an interesting horse for me. Niall Saville's barn's been on fire all year long. They've had 3 winners at 5-1 or more since June the 5th. This horse in her career debut showed some sneaky speed and snuck into the pocket. And as Matilda Burnham tried to move up the rail on the second turn, she was checked pretty hard along the inside. I think that took the starch out of the first-time starter. Second time out, Brand New Dance seemed a little bit uncomfortable in between horses. Looked like she was getting out a little bit. Maybe this filly's a little bit tough to ride. I'm not interested in the dirt start last time. I just would like to see a little bit of speed out of Brand New Dance, maybe settle in the second or third flight.
I think there's a couple horses in here that they're going to do their best work forward.
Yeah.
One of them is going to be Skittily Dat for Bobby Leaf. Caitlin Kyle has got the mount here. The 2 back try, okay, they didn't go super fast early, but I think shortening up a 1/16 of a mile could definitely help the chances in inside post. Maybe get a little bit of cover. We're asking these amateur riders, and they're used to it. We've got Virginia Carrillo, won on the jumps, proven on jumps, handling some traffic, some adversity. So they're going to have to do that here. I think Lady Limoncello. I think this is a horse to go ahead and just go out of that race against Jewish Mother. And was not able to keep up 21 and 3:45 flat. They're not going to be going like that. And I looked a little deeper in this family. There's routing on the turf. That second dam won twice going along on the lawn.
Things to like about Lady Limoncello. Second off the layoff, stretching out. It was a key race last time out. Jewish Mother came back to win with a 64 Beyer speed figure. Lacey's barn is going very well right now. And again, Lady Limoncello, speed in the rail. That's not a bad place to be in this sort of race. Skittily Dat, you mentioned. Another horse seemed a little uncomfortable to be in between horses. Some River is the number 7 going out for trainer Justin Nixon. We've got a trainer stat for Justin. Second time Lasix, 5 for the last 24, 21%, a 241 ROI. I thought this horse showed a little bit of something in the debut at Tampa Bay, but was very green, just didn't change leads in the stretch, and then just broke slow last time out. She's still learning the game. I think distance isn't going to be a problem, and there's always a chance in these amateur races that this pace gets very hot.
Well,
if it melts down, I think Some River's the one with the best late kick.
She and I again, Jam's Paper Moon, I think they have maybe the best chance to sustain that run. If things get quick up front from the final 3/8 of a mile, look for those horses to make a positive impact late. I like Some River last time out. Just didn't fire like I thought, but I think third time has plenty of chance to move up off of those 2 starts. So in the opener, I'm 8-3-1-14. Valerie Street does draw in. Pay attention to that. That horse gets the blinkers back on. Showed a little late life. 2 races back then, 9-3-7-11. And real quick, if we can run that early pick 5 ticket one more time, we're going to run through it. And I appreciate everybody there up in the room, our TV department doing a great job. 1-3-5-7-8-9-14 with 1-3-5-7 in the second. It's another spread race for those fillies and mares. Singling in race 3 with the 6 Cactus. If you want to add one more, I would toss in the 9 Vamos Viejo, but Cactus is going well. It's a horse to watch on our handicapping guide. Race 4 with the 2, 4, and 7. This horse is all coming out of the same race, so we're going to show a video of that. And race 5 is single. If you can beat Maida, you really might blow things up in this early value pick 5. Please get involved. Again, we want to thank everybody yesterday for partaking into our card. We hope you're back today.
Big carryover, low takeout. Please do get involved. Race number 2, second half for the early double. 7/8 of a mile on the main track for fillies and mares 3 and up, which have started for a claiming price of $12.5 or less in their last 3 races, or the claiming price $20 down to $16. We have a field of 7. It's the first of our 3 50-cent pick 4 wagers on the afternoon. And as Keith mentioned in the open, the pick 4s were huge yesterday. They've been paying very well recently. So a lot of focus is going to be, and rightfully so, on the pick 5s. But get involved in these pick 4s as well. Neolithica last time out just never got a breather. That's your top selection in here, the number 3. Neolithica was forced to duel on the early lead and paid the price. This time around, she might relax a lot better up front.
Yeah, to me, Photo Finish looks like the one. If anybody is going to go ahead and hound her, she might be the one. But Neolithica likes the 7/8 of a mile. If she can kind of get a little bit of a relaxed opening quarter, I think she can stretch her speed. The 2-back try, she just dominated, was claimed out of that race. But that May 10th race was eye-catching, a little bit against the grain as well at Pimlico to draw off. So, opening quarter, critical for her chances. If Photo Finish puts the heat on, I'm going to look for a horse like Marvelous, who I believe we have a trainer staff for, dropping down a little bit. The last time at this level, was able to make that run off the pace to get it done at 2 turns, but I think she's okay at 7/8.
This was before yesterday.
Yeah, that's
Between
right.
May 29th and June 15th, Carlos was at 28% in a positive ROI. Let's just say that ROI is a lot better right now after Mike the Bomb pulled off a nice price yesterday. Marvelous is just such a hard hitter. She's banked almost $500,000 in her career, and you're right. She's dropping back to her proper level after just being in tough against Ginger Girl last time out. That horse came back, won a 40,000 optional claimer with a 69 buyer. If the pace is hot, you know she'll run. Distance usually isn't an issue. I do like horses like Marvelous cutting back to 7 furlongs. I think that that's going to help the 5 Photo Finish, who went route to sprint to win last summer at Colonial Downs. Last time out in New York, kind of bobbled a little bit leaving the gate, then prompted the winner to no avail. I think this is a little bit of an easier spot. I think 7 furlongs is going to be okay for J-Rod and J. Ness.
Well, Ness, he's got a little bit of a double whammy here. He can throw Photo Finish forward to kind of prompt the issue. A little bit further back, I believe, will be Peyton Elizabeth trying to make that run, and she's proven at 7/8. Form a little bit dull of late. Even, I know she ran a back, second, beaten 3/4, but she's been a little bit better in the past. See if she's going to come back. But that brings me back to Marvelous real quick now. Just looking at her kind of buyer figures, when she hits that lower number, she usually bounces back up. So she's trending right now. I'm expecting a bounce back up for Marvelous. Let's hope things can kind of get a little heated. Not too heated, but she can run into it.
You're right about Peyton Elizabeth's back class as well. Fainer's Fillets is a horse that's in really good form right now for Jose Corrales. We do have a video spotlight, I believe, for Fainer's Fillets. Let's take a look.
Well, I ran into a really, really hot horse in Cluck. But all in all, I think you look again at her figures. 3 ascending numbers for Jose Corrales. Yes, haven't gotten the wins, but this horse is in pretty good form. And I think turning back a furlong is just going to be what the doctor ordered. She can sustain that run. You see this little inside-out move. She's going to work between upper stretch. Cluck, just too good. But she's willing enough to the wire that I think she poses a threat here in the second.
And another horse repeating sort of the route to 7 furlong move that's been very successful for her in the past. Cluck, too good, but Fainer's Fillets full of try in this 3rd place effort. Keith is going with Neolithica, the number 3 in here. I'll take a shot with Photo Finish. 3174 for Keith, 5412 for me. In the second half of the early daily double and part of our early value pick 5 with a big carryover. Let's take a look at the field for race number 3. We're going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. $24,000 is the purse. Let's take out the 8, smitten enough from this race. This is the first of our first leg of our middle 50-cent pick 4 wager on the afternoon. Again, we have early, we have middle, we have late. This is races for 3 and up, which have started for a claiming price of 8 or less in their last 3. We're claiming 12.5 down to 10, and the race goes through Cactus. We have a video spotlight on Cactus, who is unbeaten on grass.
Yeah, these 2 races, perfect on the turf, perfect off the claim, and really showed a lot of moxie and grit handling the early adversity at Pimlico. Jostled at the start, forced in. It was not a good opening, I'd say furlong for Cactus, but this guy just recovered. He's got a rating gear. He's going to work himself out 3 wide, and this Mario Villalobos, saying it time and time again, is riding well on the turf. And this horse, he's just in great form for Kieran. Look at this surge up to command 4 wide outside rivals. It's going to go ahead and edge Clear Lake by a length and a quarter. It's proven over this Laurel turf course with a win 2 back at 5.5. I think it's a similar trip. Now, some of the speed, I think the main speed came out. I thought Smitten Enough was a go, but I think Cactus can lay close enough. You saw him handle that trouble and going with it. Let's see if he can make it 3 in a row off the claim. But here's a stat for Kieran McGee.
Yeah, Kieran going very well recently, 26% between May 22nd and June 19th, the 225 ROI. Cactus's best asset might be the tactical speed. You're right. I think this horse is just going to be close to the pace, given an alert break, and in the thick of things when the real racing begins. Let's talk about the number 2, Vamos Viejo, a horse that was entered and scratched at Gulfstream on April 19th. So it's coming into this race off of, what, a 3-month layoff right now, but arguably getting back to a better surface after racing on the synth last time.
Raced over this turf course once. That was back in
much better
October.
Horses.
Look, Grateful Bread's all I needed to see, you know, and Going Up beats them, and I can't quite remember Going Up. I should, but I see Grateful Bread and some of the other company lines. Interesting move, though. You see the scratch, and now from 35 condition down to the 12.5, in for the tag. Breen got a win yesterday. Cadet Corps just got that nose in front at the wire, but Vamos Viejo, a little bit similar style to Cactus, has that positional speed and brings a finish. If you're worried about this drop, not a positive ROI move, but he is 4 for 15, 27% on the turf with these 50% or more droppers over the last couple of years.
Louisianimal is a horse you might want to consider if you think that Cactus is beatable. This one also goes out for Kieran, moving dirt to turf. I thought this one ran okay behind Cactus 2 starts back. No real excuses. Swung 4 wide into the stretch. Finished evenly behind the 2 favorites that day. But I think has run 2 nice races on the turf since Kieran got him. The race last time out on the dirt was okay at Delaware. This is a horse that has shown some sneaky speed in the
I wonder if
past.
they're going to go ahead and get aggressive and try to go ahead and steal with Louisianimal. Yes, has the speed now with the scratch is Smitten Enough. He has to be forward, I would think, with a cleaner break. I'm also going to toss in the 4, Noble John. This is another horse. Didn't really fire off the break at Presque Isle Downs. Goes synth to turf for Capable Barn. Aaron McClellan hasn't done as much recently, but has had some success in the past, certainly over the Laurel turf course. This one at 5.5 is a question. And does he get kind of tangled up with the 5 around the turn and into the stretch, setting it up for horses like Cactus or the 9, Vamos Viejo?
Hard hitter, though, 11-time winner, and does have some early speed. We'll see if Cactus can make it 4 for 4 on the turf in race number 3. 6.954 for Keith, 6.957 for me. Let's move on to race number 4, 6 furlongs on the main track for 3 and up, which have started for a claiming price of $8,000 or less in their last 3 starts, or a claiming price $12,500 down to $10,000. It features a field of 7. It is the first leg of our Chesapeake Pick 6 wager. 20 cents is the minimum play, and if you're the only one to pick the first place finisher in each of the final 6 races, you get the whole jackpot. And this is a nice race. We've seen these horses sort of square off against each other in the past. You're going to go with Abuelo Paps.
Yeah, let's go right to the video.
Yeah.
I thought he might have had the toughest trip. This was first off the claim, broke outward. Now, he did get into the right part of the racetrack. I thought it was a little bit of an outer lean on May the 31st. The Wolfman had to be used hard, but all 3 of these horses, very, very tough to separate. Maybe the Wolfman had the toughest go when being sent hard at that opening quarter of 22-2.
Yeah, I think the Wolfman might have had the toughest trip because he had to go 22-2. He shrugged off the gray horse to the inside. He's going to shrug off the horse on the outside. And now finally he's going to get run down in the shadow of the wire by a horse that got the right setup, Pit Stop Man, who's just a hard trier in his own right. The Wolfman did everything right in this race but win. And maybe this time around, they don't push the Wolfman as hard in the early stages. And if that's the case, it's good night, Irene.
Yeah, Blair Plaps, you saw him make the move there, just fizzle a little bit. Back in the barn of Kieran McGee, 3rd off of a lengthy break. He's shown the ability to sit and just track. He got away with a real easy lead 2 back at Pimlico, but I think he can stalk and make a move into it. He might offer the best value of the 3. Pit Stop Man, yeah, he was gritty last time out. I think he's just in really, really good form. Jester Song's a horse I want to talk about real quick. Going 3rd off the break, he's beaten the likes of Abuelo Paps in the past. He hasn't had the easiest of trips the last 2. He can be forgiven. 2 back, steadied, squeeze start. Last time out, gray start, steady, called 4 wide at the 3/8. We get J-Rod today. We'll see with a cleaner start. Jester Song, if things kind of get mixed up around the turn, he can rally into it.
So many contenders in this race. We do have a trainer stat for Kieran and Pit Stop Man, the number 7 in this race. Last out winners recently has been a good angle, 23% to 206 ROI. The question with him is obviously, will he get the same flow as he did last time? It could be a completely different situation, but he's also perhaps rounding back into his best form. We know he's a very consistent campaigner.
I think last time out, having that rail draw, he found himself a little bit further back with that speed of the Wolfman. I think he's more comfortable outside. He was able to close outside. He's shown some good speed in the past. I think he lays close enough. I think both of Kieran's horses will be taking aim on the Wolfman. Jester Song may come from a little bit further back.
Will the class drop benefit our friend Whiskey and You? He hasn't won a race in 4 years, but he ran an 84 buyer speed figure 3 starts back, a number that arguably is good enough to win this race, and now he's dropping in for the 12-5. Thoughts?
I expected a little bit more speed at the 7/8 last time, and I didn't see it. That's a sign. It starts to worry me that he's maybe not as sharp as what he once was. Always rooting for Whiskey and You.
You're going with a Kieran runner of Waylo Paps, 2741. I'm going with a Kieran runner. Maybe Pit Stop Man gets a setup again. 7345 in race number 4. 4 down, 5 to go here on Today at the Races. When we come back, it's time for the late value pick 5 with a big carryover. Welcome back to Today at the Races on a beautiful Sunday morning here at Laurel Park. I'm Dan Illman along with Keith Fustel. 4 down, 5 to go. Race number 5 is at 6 furlongs. It's a maiden special weight for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up. Take out the number 4, Numo Warrior. This is the first leg of our late value pick 5 wager. 2 of our all-stars are going to have tickets for us. 32,328 is the carryover into the late value pick 5. Low takeout of 12% just even enhances the value more. Let's take a look at some of our ace handicappers and their tickets. Callie Francois has a ticket for us.
It's going to be interesting, the strategy, because I have not seen them yet. So Callie's going to start you off with a single with the 6, Maida in race number 5. A little spread in race number 6 with the 1, 2, 4, and 7. It's a tricky race on the turf. Fillies and mares 3 and up, which have not won 3, or the 3-year-olds that have won 3 or more. Okay, open for 3-year-olds, I should say. Race 7 with the 7 and 10. That's another tough race. 6 furlongs on the turf for that state-bred, state-sired race. Scratch the 5, prepare for takeoff, and the 9, Spiteful Sis, out of race 7. Back with a single in race number 8. Scratch the 4, Fair Trade. Sassafrasness, first off the claim for Brittany Russell. Wrapping things up in race 9 with the 3, 5, 7, and 8 for a $16, very affordable late value pick 5.
So 2 BTR singles for Callie. Here's Mac's ticket for $36.
Okay, she's going to
Queen Bee.
Yeah, I'm going to throw Queen Bee in, and we'll get to that. We can talk about that first-time starter for Samraj Singh. We've got a little stat we'll throw in about Queen Bee, but Queen Bee and Maida, 5-6 to get you going. Race 6, 4, 6, 7, and 9. Race 7, 3 deep in there with the 1, 2, and 7. Seaside Road's an interesting horse trying the turf for the first time for Katie Voss. Dan and I like this one a little bit at 20-1 on your morning line. Race 8, a single in the 5, Sassafrassis. Better get it done. Race 9 with the 3, the 5, and the 8. Kobe's Hope's a horse I like in there in an 8-1 morning line. It's a $36 late value pick 5. Maybe mix and mash it up a little bit. Take a chance here. If you're going to get involved strongly today with the pots that we're going to have. They are going to be huge.
But a very popular single in the pick 5 is going to be the number 6, Maida, going out for Brittany Russell. We have a trainer stat for Brittany. Experienced maidens getting blinkers for the first time. 4 for the last 14, 29%, a $2.21 ROI. Now, this filly caught a muddy track in her career debut at Pimlico and then dueled in between horses. Didn't love the way she finished up, but for a first-time starter to be in between and battling for the lead over a wet track, I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt. The horse that finished 5th in that race is a horse that we like, came right back to win by 8.5 in an off-turf maiden special with a 62 and ran quite well yesterday.
Oh, Golden Sword was in there, comes back with a 68 yesterday. So, yeah, I think uncomfortable maybe Maida was after that tougher break caught in between through pretty decent internals, 23, 46, and 4 in debut at Pimlico. Now, Nita's Beer, I don't think has quite the speed as Maida, so with a cleaner break, one of these firsts, she should get to the front and may be able to dictate at a shorter price.
Awesome McKenzie, the number 1, is coming up for Gulfstream. First time Kim Keith, and we've got a video spotlight. I'm happy you pointed this one out, Keith, because this is a mugging coming out of the gate. Yeah, Awesome McKenzie just gets pinched and slammed coming out of the start, and the next thing you know, she's last at Gulfstream, and that's a place you don't win too often from on dirt.
No, and I tell you what, she shows a lot of heart to recover. Makes a pretty good move. 3/8 up into the stretch, works in between 3 to 4 wide, and just keeps on grinding to go ahead and get the show. That winner ran a 76 in its prior start. This was an okay field. Lots of heart here.
Look how game she is for 3rd. You're absolutely right, Keith. These 2 favorites are just running off the screen. But look how game she is for 3rd after all that difficulty at the start and then having to make up some ground. Tim Keefe's been doing well recently between May 11th and June 14th, 3 for 15 with almost a $4 return on investment. One of the first-time starters in here is the number 2, Sensamia, $20,000 yearling, like that she then sold up for $32,000 as a 2-year-old in training, going out for Annette Eubanks.
Yeah, Lone Sib 1 for 36. So you're wondering, I mean, that to me then, they must have liked this horse, because there wasn't a whole lot on the page that say, hey, I'm going to spend $32,000 for this filly by Spicer. They did. Rising Sun, Eubanks. That's all you need to know. That combo, they do damage. And I'm going to talk real quick.
Yes,
we don't have the 5. Yeah, Queen Bee, I just want to talk, and this is why I think McKenzie added this filly into the ticket. By Irish Warquire, the bottom side Dulcify, kin to 4 first time, I should say, debut winners. 4 out of the 5 won right out of the box. So you're looking at a 12-1 morning line. Should come down a little bit with a scratch of Numa Warrior, but that's strong. That's precocious.
Not only were those foals precocious, but they were also quality. Sweet Gracie was multiple stakes place. Lady Trinity was stakes place sprinting. So speed and precocity in a bullet workout. 48, 2 back for Troy Singh. We'll see if Maida can get to the lead and maybe relax a little bit better with that debut try under her girth. She's going to take a lot of money in this race. 6, 1, 2, and 3 for Keith. 6, 1, 3, and 7 for me in race number 5, the opening leg of our late value pick 5 with a big carryover and a low takeout. Race number 6 is at 1.1 miles on the turf. It's for fillies and mares 3 and up, which have never won 3 races, or the open 3-year-old fillies. Again, the claiming price 16 down to 12.5. It's a field of 10. It is the first leg of our final pick 4 wager of the afternoon, and it is also our Jackpot Super High 5 race. And this is a great race for the Jackpot Super High 5. Look at the carryover. 26,000 plus going into the Jackpot Super High 5. We've got a full field of evenly matched turf horses and a pace that could heat up.
Inside, you just look no further. Donate Life, who does take the blinkers off today, but I still expect her to be forward. Ran against much better last time in that starter allowance. She is Whiskey Ballycoo to catch the kitten. Internals okay, was able to lead a long way before fading late. I think that the blinkers off, maybe get to relax just a little bit, but Please Marry Me, she wants to be one way. So there's going to be an honest flow, I believe, in race number 6.
And the last time your top pick in here, the number 3, Mariano, got a hot flow.
Yes.
She came from way off of the pace to win 3 starts back. She's now with Carlos Mencia, who had a winner yesterday, and she is getting back to her preferred surface.
We've got Mencia and Rosado. Can lightning strike twice? I do not think this horse is going to be bet down to 7-1 like Mike the Bomb was. I was shocked to see that horse get bet down so much. But let's see. Was bought a digital sale. The only time in this barn, I like that comment from my man Willard, kept wide by faders, beating 16. All right, a little bit of a tell possibly there, freshened up. Bullet work coming in, speed to target, Mariano Mencia. Let's get it done at a big, big number from off the pace.
I'm betting the 7 Judgment Time in this race. The last time this horse went second off of a layoff, she scored at Parks. That was last year around this time. Her most recent start was her first race of the year, and nothing went right for her. She didn't break very well. She was very rank in the early portion of the race, and look at those fractions. 25.91, 51.07. This horse is 4 wide again 11 lengths off the lead. You're just not going to win with that sort of trip. Toledo tried to drop inside on the second turn to save some ground, eased out again in the stretch. This horse, I thought, finished with some sneaky verve, a little bit of a nice gallop out as well, is going to get a much better race flow this time around. One chance for Judgment Time from off the pace.
Yeah, I agree there. And again, out of open company, in that starter. We saw Stella Mars get it done yesterday at 17-1 for Ness. Good pick from my man Willard. Rodman. Tab that one, right? At a big number. Stay hot. Rod Dog has been hot. Bossy Boots is another one I'm going to throw into the mix. I think this horse is going to benefit from the flow. Got a really good ride by Tori Alba. That inside worked outward, and then it was game up in between horses to get it done. I think this horse has a chance to move up.
Donate Life of the Speeds breaks down from the inside. This horse was entered and scratched at Presque Isle Downs 11 days ago. Nice to see her back in the entries. I had to work that opening quarter mile to clear off. 23.37, got a little bit of a breather and tired. Does the blinkers off tell you anything? This angle has worked well for Donate Life in the past.
Yeah.
You'll note that she won her maiden blinkers off.
And she was able to make those moves from just off the pace. I think her best move is go ahead and let Please Marry Me go. Don't get too far away. Maybe engaged 5/16, quarter pole, and try to take it from there. But these two, I do think they will get tangled up at one point in the race, possibly setting it up for a big price in Mariano, or even your 7 at Judgment Time at a good 6-1.
Please Marry Me got that dirt prep last time out. I think it was just a prep. Now sprint to route, should show the big speed. Ran into one of your favorites, Mama's Lino, 2 starts back. That horse came back, ran third in a 45 starter at Delaware with a 73 bar, and put a rock on it as a horse I just want to touch upon real quick. Just another horse that had no flow last time out, and might get a much better setup in this race. So if this race does fall apart late, maybe put a rock on it, going second off the layoff. Can spice up your exotics. 3714 for Keith, 7129 for me in our jackpot super high five race number 6, and it is truly a wide open event, as is race number 7. Let's take a look at the field for this 6-furlong turf event. This is a state-sired allowance for fillies and mares 3 and up. Take out the 5, prepare for takeoff. Take out the 9, Spiteful Sis. Keith, you're going to go with the number 2, Worth a Dime. And this horse just really looked strong in her career debut for Tim Keefe, running down a hot horse.
Oh, yeah, she was very impressed. 76 buyer right off the bat for a 3-year-old filly sprinting on the turf. Let's go right to the video spotlight if we could. And in this race, Yo Adrian at 30 cents to the dollar was the favorite for Brittany Russell. Clear leader, and no duel really going on, but going quick, 21-4, 45 and change. We're going to pick this horse up around the turn. And just settling back, there you go, towards the inside, and works outward here with Forest Boys to 5. And Yo Adrian's supposed to win from here. And then all of a sudden, I'm calling this chart, I'm like, uh-oh.
Who is this?
Uh-oh. Here we go. Flying on the outside is Worth a Dime. You're expecting, a switch over to the left late, a little flattening. No, obviously well prepped by Tim Keefe for Nancy Lee Farms. This was a really strong performance, just steadily and ridden late. Will things be as quick up front today? I'm not so sure. We're going 6, so that's a little bit different setup on this turf course, and some of the speed comes out. Spiteful Sis, and I even think Prepare for Takeoff was going to be forward. This is a really tough race to visualize how it's going to go through the opening quarter, 3/8 of a mile.
I'm going to guess maybe the 3 Solving Progress because she's fresh and she's shown that route speed in the past. Maybe she'll be the one to make the lead in here, but there's no guarantee that Worth a Dime is just some one-run closer. A lot of times, second time out, they show better positional speed. Tim Keefe, you're right, did a great job with this horse, and Forrest gave the horse a perfect inside-out closer's trip into a fast pace. I'm going with a stranger in here, the number 2 Seaside Road, who's trying turf for the first time for Katie Voss. If you just look at the pedigree, Summer Front out of a City Zip mare, that to me screams turf. The Dam won on the turf. The 3rd Dam was grade 3 stakes winner on the turf, and Seaside Road is a half to a turf winner. So there is some turf pedigree, and her dirt form's pretty good.
Yeah, she's half the Bay Street, who's been competitive at higher level, maybe beating claimers first level allowance, if I remember. Didn't get away the greatest last time out, bumped and pitched and caught 5 wide, but still churned on willingly to the wire if she takes to the turf. Yeah, and I think she will. I think she's going to ride. These Summer Fronts, they seem to run on anything. Katie Voss with some success with her turf runners. I think Juniper Juice will race without blinkers.
Right.
No blinkers on the 4 Juniper Juice, turning back in distance, but I think she's got a cruising speed that's going to work. She's got the stamina to build up off of these couple routes. I think she's a player pretty much by the time they enter the turn to the wire. I think she's going to be close.
I agree. I think she ran really well in her seasonal debut, 2 starts back. 3-wide trip against some nice horses, and understandably flattened out off the layoff. And last time out, those internals were very fast, and she kind of made a move into the pace.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give her that. I like her turning back after chasing fast fractions. Now she can settle maybe in mid-pack and come with a run. They scratched her out of the stake yesterday to run here. I think it's a really good spot for Juniper's Juice. Money's Worth can obviously win this race for Graham, but I have to be honest, I've never been her biggest fan. It seems like her career is just always fits and starts. Layoffs have plagued her career, so here's another slow layoff. When she's at her best, she's good enough, and maybe just getting Lasix again.
Yeah, she's back on Lasix, but you're right. Only 14 starts as a 6-year-old. Do think she's going to be an impact in this race. I think she's got to be forward. She's another one with natural speed like Juniper Juice, maybe even a little bit more speed out there. Maybe they decide to go Georgia Ruiz. This is a wide open race. Chickahomany's a horse that I think could play from off the pace. Shine on Moon would need a little bit of a setup. This is a spread. I'm hoping, just like you said, Worth a Dime might be able to show a little bit more positional speed second time out to the 6 furlongs. Just might relax and finish. And she's out of a mare, Shirley's Curls, that did a lot of good work going longer. So expect her to move on and increase in distance down the road.
With a curious pace scenario, it could be a rider's race, and you've got a great one with Forest Boys. 2, 1, 4, and 8. I'll go 1, 2, 7, and 8 in race number 7. Race number 8 is one of our co-features, going 3/4 of a mile on the main track for fillies and mares 3 and up, Maryland bred or sire. Take out the 4, Fair Trade. Let's start things off with the 5, Sassafrasness. This horse really made a nice impression on me when I got a look at her in the paddock in her second lifetime start. I really shouldn't run very well that day against High Path, but I guess she made a really good visual to Stuart Grant's Elkstone Group and Brittany Russell. Let's watch the most recent start when they dropped this horse down for 40. Sassafrasness, much the best is the chalk.
Yeah, a little bit of trouble out of the gate, broke inward bump, and this wasn't the fastest of racetracks. You can tell kind of looking at the variant, but was able to recover and was into it a little bit sooner than what I thought. The race at Delaware was good. That was the other nest that got it done. I think we might have shown that race as well, but she was just a little bit of a different filly this particular day, a top buyer figure. Strong past that 3/16 is going to go ahead and wire by 5 and change. Reached in, like I say, Elkstone Group, BTR, grabber for the 40. Hey, good score for the homebred, for the home team. Made 60,000 right in purses, get the 40 for the claim. We'll see, but we've got a stat here that's just kind of
well, you don't have to handicap. Brittany off the claim, and your eyes are not deceiving you. 8 for the last 11, 73%, a $3.69 ROI. Sassafrasness, if she shows that kind of tactical speed, could be sitting second in the early stages, because I think we both will agree the great Andre is going to show speed. And maybe we're making a mistake in thumbing our noses at great Andre as a top pick in here, because she looked really good last time out at Pimlico. She's a 3-time winner. She got to the front. She worked a little bit. The last 16th of a mile worried me. She was kind of drifting and flashing her tail a bit like she was getting tired, but I trust Jerry Robin. If Great Andre somehow gets loose in here, she's not going to be easy to run down. The runner-up from that last race came back and earned a 70 buyer, and here's a Jerry Robb stat, 22% with last-out winners coming back on dirt.
Yeah, and Great Andre beats Tune to the Moon. That horse was part of the flow yesterday, right? Carried it to about mid-stretch to fade against a good group, but does Dwelling Legacy have to go from the inside? I'm not so sure, but that was an outer lane track, I thought, on June the 1st. Was down inside, dueling through 22 and 2, 45 and 3, zipping along, taking the pressure, and edging away late into the allowance ranks today, the state bred, state sired. Gary Capp, we've got a stat for this guy as well. He's pretty good.
Bet against Gary Capp at your own risk. Last out winners, that's a pretty large sample. 33%, a $2.21 ROI. We know Dwelling Legacy is going to hang on that left lead in the stretch no matter what, so maybe a speed duel may not be in her best interests, but she's in very good form, and she's certainly got the right connections behind her. If this pace does heat up, isn't the 7-kilo road the best true closer?
Yeah. I mean, she's altered style. Early on in her career, I thought she was going to be a speed type. She's learned to relax and rate. unfortunately was in that match race last
No
time
chance.
and just gave it up early. That Society Ball was able to control. But, man, she finished up very willingly. So a little bit more flow possibly in here. I think it will be. She'll get a chance to make the run from the back of the pack.
Let's close things out with race number 9, 5173 for Keith. I'm going to go with Sassafrasness as well. We're going 5.5 on the turf. It's a maiden claimer for fillies and mares, 25 down to 20. Maryland breds eligible for 30. We have a field of 9. I'm going to start with my top pick in here. That's the number 8, Beyond Question, going out for Michael Trombetta, who won one of the 2 stakes races yesterday. We've got a stat for Tromby. Maidens, second time Lasix, 6 for the last 23, a 250 ROI. This horse came back off of a long layoff last time out. Was in a very tough open maiden special weight. I thought she hopped a little bit at the start, recovered quickly enough to prompt a horse that finished 4th, and then tired at the end of the race. The class drop and the tactical speed. I think the 6 and the 9 show speed. She can tuck in 3rd.
I think Fonny's still in here, right?
Yeah, Fonny's going to show some speed too.
She was pretty keyed up last time as well. Internals 22.45. I got to go for a closer in here. And back a little bit quick is the 5, Kobe's Hope. But I'm hoping she just kind of bounced right out of that last race. She got in trouble early. She relaxed, had to alter outside of a horse that was checking mid-turn. Man, did she finish up well and gallop out strong. Kobe's Hope's my top pick in here to make a run. I just think there's a slew of speed. I think Kobe's Hope or Bajan Bashert, they get this trip.
Bajan Bashert, 3rd start of the form cycle. The last time this horse raced on turf was a long, long time ago in Southern California, putting up some pretty big buyer speed figures. It looks like she's just found the right spot for Lacey Gaudet. I want to talk about Drifting and Kissed at Dawn a little bit. They may supply some of the speed. Drifting will wear cheek pleases again. Dueled outside the favored winner 2 starts back on turf, was really hard used, so I could give her a mulligan for that race. And look at the fractions. Kissed at Dawn set 2 starts back on turf, 21-4 before tiring. So if somehow they can avoid another pace battle, they'll be there turning into the long stretch.
The debut for Kissed at Dawn is the one that kind of caught me. I think she might be a little bit tactical from the outside. You look at the debut, had the rail post in a field of 11. Didn't get away the greatest. Made a middle move just to flatten late. Okay, now can get a little bit more relaxed. So she was the one we showed in that video spotlight with Worth a Dime, was out there winging it just to fade. Let's go ahead and try to rate today and sit and make a move into it.
Yet another wide open race here at Laurel on Sunday. 5-3-9-8 for Keith, 8-3-6-9 for me. Our pick 5 pool is already at $94,000 as we get to value play time. Who's it going to be?
Early and late. We're going to have a little bit of a bailout. Hopefully you're alive to this horse in the late pick 5, because we've got a carryover for that as well. Kobe's Hope. I just thought the last race, first time off the claim, was really inspiring. Trouble out of the gate, actually trouble mid-turn to finish up strong. There's just too much speed in here. I think the speed's going to come back. It's going to set up beautifully for Kobe's Hope.
My value play off one of my favorite hidden trip plays, wide off of a slow pace. The 6, race number 6, number 7, Judgment Time, 6-1 on the morning line. Better flow this time around. Second off the layoff, I'm expecting a late kick. 22 minutes to post for race number 1 on a 9-race program at Laurel Park with carryovers in both value pick 5 wagers, carryover in the jackpot super high 5. Bets for everybody today, and Rosé on the rail as well. Our colleagues Mackenzie Pfeiffer, Callie Francois, Dave Rodman will take you through the card. Let's go up to Dave Rodman for scratches and changes.
All right, good luck.